Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Circle on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has described education as key to achieving lasting peace in Nigeria. Tinubu said this in a statement to mark this year's annual International Day of Education, saying this year's theme of learning for lasting peace is appropriate. She said building a more peaceful future rests on the nation's commitment to pursuing quality education. She therefore urged Nigeria to embrace transformative learning and invest more in inclusivity that instill in children the values of peace and tolerance to build a Nigeria of peace, progress, and prosperity for all. The Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sununu, said on Wednesday in Yola that the federal government has redoubled efforts to ensure out-of-school children are returned and retained in school. The minister, who stated this at the inauguration of the National Campaign of Out-of-School Children 2024 for 4 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, said this was to achieve a better society. Represented by Joy Onoja, the Federal Ministry's Deputy Director of Basic Education, Sununu said a significant number of children in the country were still deprived of their fundamental rights to education. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development is partnering with the Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative to drive reforms in the sector. Alake disclosed this while receiving a delegation of the EITI led by Dr. Ogbonnaya Oji, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, on Wednesday in Abuja. Alake expressed federal government's commitment to work with the EITI and NATI to advance economic-driven strides in the solid minerals sector. He said that the government was determined to reposition the solid minerals sector to boost Nigeria's revenue profile, while also creating job opportunities for the teeming unemployed youths. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have demanded to see the death certificate of a former director of Legal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Grace Taiga. Taiga's lawyers, Daniel Alumu, had on November 4, 2023, informed the Federal Capital Territory High Court that this client had died. Taiga is standing trial before Justice Olukolade Adeniyi on allegations bordering on bribery in the controversial gas supply processing agreement between Process and Industrial Development and the federal government of Nigeria. The EFCC claimed that she violated various laws by entering into the agreement without the approval of the Federal Executive Council, without obtaining a certificate of no objection to the contract from the Bureau of Public Enterprise. The Police Service Commission, PSC, has approved the appointment of new officers and the promotion of the 1,897 senior officers to the next substantive ranks. The head of press and public relations of the commission, Ikechukwu Ani, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He said the commission approved the appointment of Dasuki Galadanchi and the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 12 Bauchi as the Deputy Inspector General of Police to represent the Northwest geopolitical zone of the country. The Commission promoted 14 Commissioners of Police to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police, 21 Deputy Commissioners of Police to Commissioners of Police, Assistant Commissioners of Police to Deputy Commissioners of Police, and 109 Chief Superintendents of Police to Assistant Commissioners of Police. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has debunked reports of a bomb blast in the Metama district of the territory on Wednesday. In a statement by its spokesperson, Josephine Ade, the Superintendent of Police, the police said it was an explosion caused by overheated metal refuse container activated under intense heat. Reports indicated earlier in the day that there was a bomb blast in the Federal Capital Territory. The police explained that the explosion occurred at a dump site outside the Bureau of Public Enterprises BPE premises, inflicting injury to 2 refuse evacuators who are currently receiving medical attention in Metama General Hospital. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command said it had arrested another suspected kidnapper as its special intervention squad takes more steps to protect residents. The Commissioner of Police in charge of the Federal Capital Territory, Haruna Garba, made this known while briefing newsmen in Abuja. He said that the suspect was arrested in Sokal village on January 21st and the kidnapped victim was rescued. The CP explained that police operatives from Edo Division received a distress call that some armed men in a black Toyota Corolla fired the tires of a moving Padro Jeep of one Suleiman Sabo. Garba said the victim had been admitted to the hospital and is responding to treatment. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has enlisted the support of traditional leaders to strengthen the fight against insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory. Wike said during a security meeting with the FCT Council of Chiefs and the chairman of the 6 area councils in Abuja on Wednesday that the support was critical to winning the war against criminal elements. He assured residents that the government was not sleeping but doing everything possible to address the challenges. According to him, there is a need for a strong synergy between the government and traditional leaders to win the war against insecurity. The Supreme Court has upheld the election of Governor Sim Fubara of Rivers State. The court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel led by Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun on Thursday, dismissed as lacking in merit and appealed the candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Tony Cole, filed to challenge the outcome of the governorship election that held in the state on March 18, 2023. In the lead judgment that was delivered by Justice Ibrahim Saulawa, the Apex Court said it found no reason to dislodge the concurrent verdict of the Court of Appeal and the Rivers State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which upheld Fubara's victory at the poll. The Supreme Court on Thursday affirmed Agbo Kefas of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as the valid winner of the governorship election that held in Taraba State on March 18, 2023. The Apex Court, in its lead judgment that was delivered by Justice Mohammed Garba, dismissed incompetent an appeal that was filed by the New Nigerian People's Party and its governorship candidate in the state, Professor Sani Yahya. The Apex Court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel, held that the NNPP and its candidate filed an incomplete record of appeal. The Supreme Court on Thursday affirmed the election of Ahmed Aliyu as Sokoto State Governor, delivering the lead judgment of a 5-member panel of the court. Tijani Abubakar dismissed the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Seidu Umar. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says all is set for the Akoko North-East and Akoko North-West Federal Constituency elections scheduled for February 3rd in Ondo State. The State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Olutoyin Babalola, said in Akure that the non-sensitive materials had been received from INEC headquarters and sent to 2 local government areas. Babalola, who spoke on the sideline of a 2-day training for supervisory presiding officers at the INEC office in Akure, said the adequate number of bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) machines had been configured for the election to hold in 329 polling units. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news cycle returns, the federal government projects 19.4 trillion naira revenue in 2024. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the International Court of Justice will on Friday rule on provisional requests from South Africa in the case accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza. A press statement by the court said a public sitting will take place at 1 p.m. at the Peace Palace in The Hague, during which Judge Johanna Donoghue, the president of the court, will read the court's order. Both countries presented their argument at the ICJ on 10th and 11th January, where South Africa's lawyers said Israel and its agencies are intentional about wiping out entire families in Gaza. Responding to South Africa, Israel said it was acting in self-defense and blamed Hamas for the woes of the people in the Gaza Strip. South Africa also requested the courts to approve provisional measures to protect against further severe and irreparable harm to the rights of the Palestinian people under the Genocide Convention. The European Union (EU) has said it will invest 18 million euros to fund vaccine research in Nigeria. The head of the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ambassador Samuela Isopi, disclosed this in Abuja at the presentation of the National Plan for Vaccine Research and Development and Local Production 2024 to 2034. The plan was developed by the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development with support from the EU and Bulgarian government. Isopi, who was represented by Professor Leila Matthew, said that the EU was aligned with the nation's priorities, adding that the development of the plan was timely and could not come at a better time. She said that the Minister of State for Health was also taking the plan to the highest level with the EU to discuss other parts of it. Let's turn to business. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has constructed 150 million liters storage facility for the Port Harcourt Refinery Company ahead of the full operations of the plant, the company stated on Wednesday. It said the storage facility was constructed in Atlas Cove, adding that the company had signed build, operate, and transfer agreements for the rehabilitation of pipelines and storage facilities nationwide. The National Oil Company revealed that its retail arm distributed about 14 billion liters of white products in 2023. The company further stated that an aviation arm had been created that would supply fuel to 3 international carriers, adding that more airlines would be served in due course. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is investigating at least $347 billion allocated to companies in Nigeria between January 2014 and June 2023. This came as fresh findings show that Anti-Graft Agency had extended its forex allocation probe to include some foreign firms operating in Nigeria. However, the Central Bank of Nigeria data revealed that local and foreign companies in Nigeria got at least $347.49 billion from the Apex Bank to serve their foreign exchange needs and obligations within the 10-year period. Nigeria's national power grid collapsed 46 times from 2017 to 2023, a report by the International Energy Agency said on Wednesday. According to the report, Nigerians endured more nationwide blackouts in 2023, especially in September 14, when the grid collapsed due to a fire on a major transmission line. The IEA said Nigeria had grappled with recurrent power failures totaling 46 grid collapses between 2017 and 2023. Nigeria's grid continued to face issues due to its infrastructure and vandalism. The federal government has set a tax revenue target of 19.4 trillion naira for 2024. This is as the Federal Inland Revenue Service collected a record 12.37 trillion naira in tax revenue for the Federation in 2023, surpassing the year's target of 10.7 trillion naira. According to the chairman of FIRS, Dr. Zach Adedeji, the new target is achievable because of an effective tax collection system and a viable economic environment for businesses to prosper. Giving a breakdown of the figures, one of the agency's coordinating directors, Amina Ado, disclosed that oil revenue accounted for 3.17 trillion naira of the total, representing 25.6%, while non-oil revenue was 74.4% at 9.2 trillion naira. The National Bureau for Statistics has said the Nigerian Railway Corporation generated 1.49 billion naira in revenue from passengers in third quarter of 2023. This is contained in the NBS Rail Transportation data for third quarter and fourth quarter 2023 released Thursday in Abuja. The figure increased by 108.25% compared to the 715.09 million naira generated in third quarter of 2022. Similarly, 286.78 million naira was collected in third quarter of 2023 as revenue from goods and cargo. This increased by 181.58% from 101.84 million naira received in third quarter of 2022. The number of rail transport passengers in the third quarter of 2023 increased to 594,348. This is higher than the 500,348 recorded in the third quarter of 2022, representing a growth rate of 18.79%. And still in the news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says the stage in Nigeria's economic transformation roadmap shows the country is currently in the stabilization phase. The CBN Governor, Olayemi Kadoso, asserted the Nigerian Economic Summit Group NESG 2024 Macroeconomic Outlook launch on Wednesday in Lagos. The CBN Governor noted that the NESG's focus on a roadmap resonates with the CBN's recently launched strategy, suggesting that both plans share similar vision for Nigeria's economic future. He named the Apex Bank roadmap for achieving its mandate as ensuring monetary, price, and financial system stability as a catalyst for inclusive growth and sustainable development. Kadoso noted that the CBN strategy, which had three core themes, price stability, a robust financial system, and good governance, aligned well with the NESG's call for distinct interconnected phases in its roadmap. The National Bureau of Statistics has directed that the average price of 1 kilogram of local rice increased by 81.35% on a year-on-year basis to 917.93 naira in December 2023. This indicates that the price of rice, which is a staple food item in Nigeria, has increased by 411.76 naira when compared to the corresponding price of 506.17 naira recorded in December 2022. The NBS reported that the average price of 1 kilogram of tomato rose by 77.60% on a year-on-year basis from 458.42 naira in December 2022 to 814 naira 16 kobo in December 2023. On a month-on-month basis, it increased by 7.32% from 758 naira 65 kobo in November 2023 to 814 naira 16 kobo in December 2023. And moving to the exciting world of sports, the chairman, Nigerian Premier Football League, NPFL Youth League Committee, Emeka Eyama, has called on clubs to ensure proper documentation of their players ahead of the screening schedule for January 31st. Eyama, who stated this on Thursday in Lagos, said the proper documentation was required to avoid players being disqualified due to negligence of their clubs. He said that clubs are expected to arrive at their centers on January 30th to commence the screening, adding that zonal qualifiers will take place from February 1st to 3rd. The NPFL Youth League will be held in 5 centers: Enugu for Southeast teams, Lafia for North Central teams. Others are Asaba for South-South teams, Ekiti for Southwest teams, and Kaduna for Northwest and Northeast teams. That's it on News Cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Anthony Momodu saying thank you for watching. See you again.